What is going on, fellas, and welcome back to Hungary for Success with me, FoggyPlays, on FM21. Today we're taking on Legia Warsaw in the Champions Path third qualifying round, second leg of the European Champions League, aka just the Champions League, and we're going to be taking on Kisverde in the league. If you do want to enjoy this episode, make sure to like and subscribe. It makes a massive difference to the channel. Now let's get into it. Fellas, so as I said, Legia Warsaw, we did win the first leg 3-2, so we have an advantage, but they have two away goals, which is, a little bit frustrating. If we beat Legia in this round, next up then we take either Mold or Fenerbahce in the next round. Should be able to show you that. Yeah, so it's Mold or Fenerbahce, and I think that, but then if we win those games, we get into the group stage, and that would be fantastic. Imagine if we made it into the group stage of the Champions League at the first attempt. But since we were here last, we've beaten Haladas 5-1 to start our league season. Derek scoring a hat-trick. I think because of that, he's still top goal scorer in the league. You've already seen we beat Legia 3-2. We were a little fortunate, to be fair. They were also just a smidge fortunate. It's just one of those things. And then we beat Ujpest 2-1. So going into this game, Derek is still top goal scorer in the league, having scored a hat-trick on the opening day of the season. Still 4 teams who've won every game they've played so far. It's only been 2, but we're playing Kisverde in the second part of this episode, who one draw so far against Paksh. We have had a few sales. No, actually, just a couple of players went out on loan. Thiago Lopez and Robert Simon have both gone out on loan. Not going to worry too much about those guys right now. We're going into this one. They want us to play cautious. No. So we have a few suspensions for, actually just the one. Perlevsky is suspended for today's game. Carlsberg is still unfit to play. Ongard is still recovering from his injury. You will notice that Rentira, not fully fit, but I'm going to play him. Am I going to put Suarez on the bench? I am. Suarez is going to sit on the bench. Kovac is sitting on the bench as well because he's played midweek. But Hood Wagner starts in goal. Bashiri and Rentira as our wingbacks. Derek and Pushkash in central defence. Berkala and Ortiz in central midfield. But Versace and Abe as our wide men behind Mandira and Mendoza. So we're going to jump into the game knowing that 4 players lack tactical familiarity. Okay, well, it's just 4 players on the bench. I don't really care. But the team mentality. As far as Mandira, it's fair enough. Okay, fair enough. Whatever. Not gonna question it. But this Legia side is a pretty decent side. Players is tuned into the tactical requirements of this team. Yes, Mandira starts. Can't believe. Yeah, I know you look shattered, but that's how it's got to be. We are going to say, or point the finger, and say, don't get complacent. It's fine, everyone's more or less happy, but it's not going to bother speaking to the press because I have other things to do with my time. Legia with the first highlight and a goal. Not ideal. So they are 1 up on the night, 3-2 or 3-3 on aggregate. And as I said previously, they have 2 away goals. We cannot allow this to happen. So Derek with the ball forward, looking for Mandira but can't find him. Back to Bashiri. Beryaka. Abe is there. Hiroki Abe. Really taking advantage of the fact that Carlsberg is not fit. And he's been out since the end of last season. Abe is really trying to rubber stamp the fact that he should be starting. When you think about it, he came from Barcelona. Carlsberg came from some random Faroese team. So in theory, Abe should be nailed on starter regardless of how good Carlsberg is. For most players anyway. You'd look at that and go, well, he came through the Barca Academy. Well, he didn't. He played in the Barca Academy. Surely he is competent. And he is. Abe is competent, but like Carlsberg more. Versace has picked up the terrible clearance or free kick by their goalkeeper, and that is quite a goal to score. That is, oh, let me just, chef's kiss, beautiful. The spin on the ball ends up putting it into the back of the net. It says it went off their defender. It did, and it just kind of spun on the line. Was that Bruno Martins Indy? Playing for Legia Warsaw? Hardly. They have Bruno Martins Indy. What? That's such a random player to have played for Legia Warsaw. Oh well, okay. Now we have nullified their away goals, so now they need to score 4. So we've done what we set out to do, I guess. Versace is trying to run their defenders down. Rentira gets it clear. Mandira's picked up, but fighting for it, but he didn't quite get a hold of it. Legia on the attack still pings it off one of our players. And scored. I think it was Berkella who took a punt to the face, but alas, it was not enough to stop Legia from scoring. They've set off flares already. I suppose we're almost at half time. Setting off a flare. Mendoza, he's headed just wide. Mendoza, one of those players who can be quite vacant in games, but when he gets involved, he's really good. I don't really want to go taking him off, so what we might do is just swap him to be a poacher, have Mandira be the advanced forward for the second half. We'll go into it and see what we can do. So, like I said, we have nullified their away goals. So as long as we don't lose 4-2, we're fine. I don't want to say anything to the lads yet. Mendoza gets it to Ortiz. Rentira, who's actually not doing too poorly for a guy who started his game so very tired. Mandira has smashed it into the back of the net. Get in there, my son. Berkelia, playing a 7.2. Wasn't actually a player I considered starting for this game. Because I wanted to play Kovic, but the fact that Kovic was so tired, I didn't. And Rentier was another player that I did consider not starting. But we have made Legia's attempt at winning this game ever so slightly more difficult with that goal. They now have to score 4 today. 4... No, actually they need to score 5. They need to score 5 goals to win. And we've got ourselves a free kick, 67th minute. We're going to make a change in the not too distant future. See who's quite tired. Abe is exhausted. And just hacks that one as far. Oh, they've made a mistake. Mendoza is true. And keeper and the defender couldn't decide between themselves who was going to do what. But just kind of left the ball there. And Mendoza ran them down. This has been a game of very interesting goals. It was a very speculative clearance by Hiroki. I'm not quite sure what the keeper and the defender were doing, but I'll take it. It's interesting tactics. Wonder if it's going to work out for them. It did not. We're going to bring on Rosas on the right. Rentira is going to come off. We're going to bring on Suarez. And we shall leave it at that for the time being. I'm just going to tell the lads I have faith in them. Because why not? And Hutwagner to take a goal kick, gets it out. Can't find a Dorogi player, but it's, oh, what a last ditch tackle by Derek, or was it Pushkash got in the way of it? I know Derek was the one that slid in, but it was a Pushkash that got the final touch on it. Pushkash heads it away though, so we've one less thing to worry about. Ball comes back in, and he is very, very, very offside. Indeed he was. We're going to make our final substitution now. Ortiz struggling. We're going to bring on Al Shamali, who, to be fair, doesn't get enough game time. He's actually a pretty decent player. I don't think you've seen too much of him, but he's pretty decent when he comes on. You know, he plays quite well. We have chucked a bit of praise at the lads because they're doing quite well. Rosas finds Berkalia and can't get it past the keeper. I was actually considering at the start of the season having a look at the Legia Warsaw team, see if there was any players we could bring in on loan, because they're still our parent club. And wasn't anyone I really kind of looked at and went, you know, I'd love to have that guy in my team. I've looked at the Wolves team. Not many good players want to join us. Diego Jota, not Diego Jota. There's someone in the team. Can't remember who it was. Portuguese, really narrows it down. Who we considered trying to get down on loan, and I wouldn't have an anyway. Had no interest. So that was delightful. But Abe, could he add to it? No. Okay, I thought for a second there was going to be a penalty. So we've won the game 4-2 away from home. I'll take it. That is fantastic. Well done, lads. I didn't see the Mold result, the Mold versus Fenerbahce game. I have a sneaky suspicion that it may be Mold that we're playing. Won there for no, it's Fenerbahce. Fenerbahce came and won 4-2. That is interesting. PSV have knocked out Sporting Lisbon. Basel have been knocked out by CSKA Moscow. Club Brugge beat PAOK. Brøndby have knocked out Marseille. Oh! Any other interesting results I wouldn't have expected? No. Maybe AIK get knocked out by Dunstreda. We have made it through and we get Fenerbahce in the Champions Path playoff, which is in the not too distant future. Actually, screw Kisvarda, we're taking on Fenerbahce in the second leg to see if we qualify for our Champions League group stage. We also drew Boyhad in the league, or in the cup. They're not very good, so we're not going to worry too much about it. Obviously, I would expect to put at least 11, maybe 10 or 11 goals past them. Maybe we'll score 11, possibly even 10. Anyway, we'll be back in just a second for the Fenerbahce game. See how we get on in that. So it is time for us to take on Fenerbahce in our second leg. As you can see, we lost the first leg 3-1, but since we were here last, we beat Kisvarda, obviously lost to Fenerbahce and beat Pech. So we're in pretty good form, apart from the fact we got beaten by Fenerbahce. The home leg is now, and actually before we do anything else, we have made a couple of signings and a couple of sales. We raided Slavia Prague again for another player, Milan Werner, a young goalkeeper, has a nice bit of potential. Came up with my reports. Why not? We also gave Fleck his debut in the last game. He came off the bench. Was actually not the worst player in the world. We have sold or loaned out a couple of players. Shoka has gone to Kisvarda to play in their second team. Not a very good striker, so it's fine. Any other important players? Beltran's gone on loan to Honved. He's also come in and loaned Uhash, so that's fine. Frey Johnson has left us. 400,000, potentially rising to 450,000. He's gone to Zlin. He wanted first team football. I was like, can't offer you that. You're not going to be guaranteed first team football. So he has left us, and Zult Dala, a player that had lots of interest in him, offers getting rejected constantly. So he's finally left us, which I suppose is a little unfortunate. We have some injuries and suspensions for today's game. Brakala, Pushkash, Derek are all the suspended players. Kalsberg still hasn't recovered from his injury, and Silva is also injured. Yanaro, player you haven't seen actually play yet. He's played quite a number of games for us so far. The Mozambique youngster, been playing quite a number of games. Pretty decent. He's picked up an injury. He's not registered for this regardless, so you know, he's still doing fantastic. Also, Christian Mark, Brazilian centre back, who came in. Look, still trying to get him a loan because that's what he wants. And I know what happens if you don't offer a player, or if a player doesn't get a loan, even though we've offered him out to many clubs. He's played 3 league games, scored 2, so I'm kind of hoping he doesn't leave. But we have Hut Wagner starting goal for this game, Perlescu and Rentira as our wing backs, Bushiri and Ziris as our centre backs, just because purely the only other centre back we have in the team that is registered to play and fit is Suarez. Kovac and Ortiz starting in central midfield with Versace and Abe as our wide men. Abe came to me and said he wanted a contract. I was like, are you sure? And he was, no, actually no. Now change my mind, I don't. Mendoza and Mandira starting as our strike force. So we're going into this game knowing it's going to be a difficult one. It's not going to be a very easy game. We're going to have a little bit of trouble. Mame Thiam was an absolute monster in the last game. Absolutely destroyed everybody. Unfortunately, DeAndre Yedlin, not starting, or he's on the bench. He came on in the last game, gave us a penalty. We missed said penalty, but still gave away a penalty. What are the chances that Pierlevscu misses 2 penalties? Wait and see. I'm going to tell the strikers I expect quality finishing. Missing Derek is quite a loss to us, but it's fine. We're actually going to go attacking from the beginning because I do want us to get involved. Try and get the ball in the back of the net as many times as we can. In the press conference before the game, they were saying about how we played well against Pecs, and I was like, yeah, really good, we're fantastic. And then they were like, oh, but they were like, Fenerbahce beat Galatasaray 4-0 in their game. How do you think that's going to go? And I was like, oh, well, I don't care. We've now conceded an away goal, so now our away goal is pointless. So we need to win this game. Maybe going attacking isn't the greatest idea we've ever had, but we're going to just keep going. We need to score goals. If we don't attack, we're not going to score goals. So, attack. Our passes are not very good, and we are getting dominated for possession. Our passes are not finding their intended targets. I'm going to fire the players up. Versace wins the ball back. Bushiri, who he's been quite disappointing when he's played so far this year. Ortiz, quite a nice tackle. Unfortunately, Fenerbahce keep a hold of the ball, and Ozan Taskin puts the ball in the back of the net again. They actually had a player sent off right at the end of the first leg. Looks like they're not missing that player currently. I don't actually remember. I think it was one of their centre backs got sent off, but it was like 90th minute. I think it was properly at the end of the game. Ortiz, for some reason the Fenerbahce players decided not to run for the ball. Ortiz does get a hold of it, but that's such a poor pass by Kovic. Bushiri just boots it clear. Hiroki trying to find, I'm guessing Versace. It was kind of like perfectly in the middle of Versace and Mendoza. And that was a poor headed clearance by Bushiri, but Rentira was there to stop it. Our centre backs are getting absolutely dominated today. Versace heads it clear, and the highlight ends. Okay, so we're being absolutely slapped around so far. I'm going to tell him I'm not happy. I am not happy with anything that you're doing. We might need to make some changes. I'm going to put Mendoza as a poacher on the left and Mandira as a striker on the right. What do we do? What do we do? Forcing them outside doesn't seem to be working. Maybe try and force them inside. And prevent short goalkeeper distribution, much higher defensive line. I've made some minor changes, not really ones that are going to make a massive difference. We do need to score many goals now. So it might... Oh, we've conceded again. Samara with his 5th. I think we're going to have to make wholesale changes, and we actually have players on the pitch to do what I'm thinking. So we do this. You can be a false 9 because you're quite good at that. I'm going to make 2 of them advance forwards. Pierlevscu can be a wing back on attack as well. And that's what we're going to do. 4 minutes into the second half, we're making a tactical tweak, going 4-3-3. I can't show it to the players yet. I'm going to berate them again. I think irregardless of what happens in this match, we're in the Europa League group stage, if I'm not mistaken. I probably am, to be fair, because I'm not the smartest cookie in the shed. Kovic, I think, is better at playmaking. What is his passing? 13-13-5. Al-Shamali. Yeah. Okay, so he is not a player we want to be doing that. I'm going to take Zeros off for Suarez, just because our defenders are getting absolutely shit ton. Alright, we're going to go very attacking. I'm going to give the lads a bit of encouragement. It's motivated and fired up everybody. Nothing is happening. We have a throw-in. Perelevscu. I didn't think we were going to get... Like, I thought Fenerbahce was probably one step too far. But Ortiz has managed to stop them from scoring yet another goal. It was so much closer in the first leg. We're just struggling as it is. I don't see a way for us to get back in. We're just very attacking. They score a couple more goals, whatever. We need to score 5 and we still go out on away goals. Can we score 5 goals in 10 minutes? I don't think so. Samada, he's put it in the back of the net. Now we need to score 6. No. 7. Yeah, I was doing the math wrong. Yeah, okay, so we need to score 7 goals. I'd hate to break it to people, but I don't think it's going to happen. We're just going to take off Mendoza because he's quite tired. Bring on Riffin. Go out there and make a difference. If we can even score just a goal, maybe get a goal, maybe 2. A goal or 2 goals, and I'll be happy. Fire up the lads. It's quite disappointing that we've fallen at the final hurdle for the Champions League, but I don't think the players were... Like, we would have got absolutely shit on in the Champions League anyway. So maybe it's for the best that we got knocked out, but I would imagine there's probably going to be a couple of players that will want to leave now. And we are still in the transfer window. Bushiri gets across and Hiroki Abe puts it in the back of the net. Consolation goal. At least we've got one. At least we've scored a goal. And there's a highlight. I think we might have angered Fenerbahce ever so slightly. Their Hungarian centre-back's having a nice time in his return to Hungary. Chalet doing the business. Or Perelevscu, you're hardly sending him off for that. That is horrendous. Fair enough. Okay. Ortiz slots in at right back, and we're just... Yeah. We weren't ready. We weren't ready. Champions League group stage was just... Fenerbahce just slightly better than we are. I think this result makes it look like we were significantly worse. I don't think we're that bad. But we were missing quite a number of first team players as well. So I'm not going to be too harsh on the lads. You know, we're also down to 10 men. So I think we could have beat Mold. Had Mold been able to keep their first leg victory over Fenerbahce, I think we could have done the business against them. Like it's unacceptable. Yeah, I was going to say it's unacceptable. I'm not going to be too harsh on the lads. I think it was difficult regardless of what we were going to do. So that is the end of that. Salzburg almost got knocked out. Salzburg almost got knocked out by a Slovakian team. I do think now that puts us in the Europa League, but I'm not sure. I think it's hardly a case that we get knocked out at this round and then not get any European football. We do also have Ivan Rakitic on trial. Just as you do. So we are going to end the episode now. I'm going to leave you on a cliffhanger to see, I'm assuming, who we get in the next round of or who we get in the group stage of the Europa League. So don't go anywhere. No, do go anywhere. You're leaving. This episode's over. But the next episode, maybe Europa League group stage. Maybe. I don't know. We find out. Thank you very much for watching, fellas. Though, if you have enjoyed, do make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I can't believe we smashed Legia and got beaten to a pulp by Fenerbahce. How much better? Like, okay, the reputation's a lot higher than ours. Yeah. Thank you very much for watching, fellas. I'll see you in the next one.